welcome to Movies That Move Me. I'm your host, Elijah Winfrey, and today we are going to be talking about a film that I love, followed by sequels that I enjoy, but I feel like they never should have been made. That's where I'm going with this one. I hope I didn't just lose you. Today we are talking about the 1982 blockbuster, and I'm going to call it a blockbuster, First Blood. It is the first Rambo movie starring Sylvester Stallone. And I want to start by talking about my initial thoughts on this film. So, obviously, this movie, for a lot of people, they look at the Rambo First Blood, they look at the Rambo franchise as good action movies. To me, I look at this first film as a warning, not as a good action movie, as a warning as to what happens when our veterans who put their bodies on the line for our freedom in this country come home and they are not given the help they need. They are not given the help they have earned and they should be entitled to. And what happens when the help they don't get turns into tragedy? That's what I look at this movie as. And a lot of people, they just look at it as an action movie. But to me, this is a warning movie because things like what is in First Blood have actually happened in this country over the years. And I'm not trying to get political on this episode, but I'm just being factual. You can look at different events from United States history and go, yeah, that kind of lines up with what happened in Rambo. Maybe not beat for beat, but certainly, having a veteran, unfortunately, at the center of a tragedy that has happened before. And so for me, when I watch this movie, I watch it as a warning. I don't watch it as an action flick. It's not something that I'm like, ooh, let me get my big bucket of popcorn and my big drink, and I'm just going to laugh and giggle the entire time. That's not why I watch this movie. I watch this movie because it's a warning. And are the action sequences badass? Yeah, sure they are. They are. But again, for me, I watch it as this movie has something to tell me. I need to listen to this movie and I need to think about it. Maybe not agree with everything that the movie's saying, but I need to think about it. And when other people watch it with me, if they want to have a conversation about it, I always do. But I never force a conversation on anyone. So for me, that's how I see this movie. And that is why I have such a problem with the sequels. Because I feel like with this movie, it had something to say. It was a very big discussion topic about PTSD in veterans and what happens when a veteran is pushed too far, when they don't have the help and the resources they need, And so the sequels don't talk about that. The sequels are just run-of-the-mill action films. And I don't have a problem with run-of-the-mill action films. I enjoy them, okay? But here's what I mean by this. The next time you go to watch Rambo 2, Rambo First Blood Part 2, or Rambo 3, or the Rambo that came out in 2008, or the Rambo that came out in 2009 or 2019 that was called Last Blood. Do me a favor when you watch those. Forget about the fact that Rambo's the main character and substitute in any other action hero. Does the movie still work? If it does, then you've just proven my point. They turned Rambo into a run-of-the-mill action figure instead of a figure that deserved to be studied. That's my problem with it. But for me as a filmmaker, what I loved about it was, yes, there was a message there. Yes, it is a warning shot, but they didn't alienate you when you went to watch it, if that makes sense. So for the people that pick up on things, pick up on the messaging, they're going to think about it. For the folks who don't want to think about it and they just want to watch the badass action sequences, they walk out of the movie happy too. But for me, I thought the way they towed that line was very impressive. And also, I don't remember Rambo having a ton of people in it either. Rambo, I don't feel like had a huge cast. Now, towards the end of the movie, when all the cop cars show up, Obviously, there's a little bit more, people involved in that. But for the most part in the movie, it was kind of a small cast, and I'm not saying that's simple because small cast does not equal simple. But what I am saying is that that was cool how they kept it, to such a minimal amount of people and yet had a major impact. That was really cool to me. So Rambo, First Blood, it's a movie that moved me. And again, I could talk about it for a long time, but I'm not going to do that. I want to end it by asking you this. Do you agree with me that it is a warning shot, not just an action film? Do you agree with me that after this movie, they turned Rambo into a run-of-the-mill action figure and not a figure that needed to be studied? And do you think those sequels should have been made? Or do you think maybe those scripts could have been retooled to maybe become a different franchise with a brand new action figure, maybe a G.I. Joe or something like that? Because to me, like I said, Rambo is that first movie. And then everything that comes after that, legitimately, if you just crossed out Rambo and wrote in a different character name, you would have a hell of an action franchise for sure. But it's just not the same. It's not the same to me. So I'm just curious your thoughts on that. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Even if you do disagree, let me know. I would love to hear for other perspectives on this. But like I said, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that first movie, peak. The rest of the movie, why? Why? Other than we have something that made a lot of money and we don't know what to do with it. So action sequences, action star, let's go action franchise. Let me know what you think about that. Hey, until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others in that order, my friends. I will see you soon.